Hey, and welcome to today's Daily Dose of Awesome, your 15 minutes of inspiration, information, and education from Elite Marketing Pro. And I am Gloria McDonald. And as you hop on here, let me know where you're coming in from and if you can hear me okay. And I'll just wait a couple seconds here. Hey, Ray, how are you? Great to see you here. Hey, Tom, so good to see you. Marilyn, David, so great to see all you guys. And happy Wednesday, Noella, Deidre, Marilyn, Dawn. So great. I'm assuming you can all hear me just perfectly. Sadaf, so great to see you. Lori, Sarah, welcome everybody. And again, this is your Daily Dose of Awesome, your 15 minutes of inspiration, motivation, and education from Elite Marketing Pro. And I'm Gloria McDonald, and I am super excited about what I'm going to share with you guys today. So Hannah, Curtis, Sarah, Dawn, so great to see all you guys. So here's the good news. There is still time left. There's still time left in this year. There's still time left in this quarter because today's only April 4th and we're just starting off a brand new quarter. So there's time left to create a spectacular life, a spectacular business. And so if that's what you'd like to do, if you'd like to create spectacular in your business and in your life for the rest of this year, the rest of this quarter, the rest of this year, give me some ones. I want to know that you are really serious about creating spectacular. Hey, Teresa, Sally, so great to see you. Michelle. So give me some ones if you are serious about wanting to create spectacular in your business and in your life. Let me see. Yes, Amy says one. Yes. Courtney, hey, Courtney, great to see you here. Dawn, lots of ones. Richard, one. Perfect. Okay, so let's dig in. But here's the thing. If you're not already living a spectacular life and have the success in your business you want, would you agree with me that you're going to have to do some things differently? We all know the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So, Noella one, Deidre one, Daniel one, Lori one, great, Marilyn one. Okay, so would it be okay with you guys if I shared with you my 3-step process for creating a successful business and a spectacular life? Would that be okay with you? So I'm assuming that you're saying yes there, that would be okay with you. Yepers, Lori says, okay, yes, absolutely. Okay, hey, Tracy, great to see you here. So here are the 3 steps. They're on my flip chart behind me there. And this is the process that I use to create everything in my life. So step number 1 is to define your dream. Now I'm going to try not to get too airy-fairy and woo-woo on you here today. I'm going to keep bringing it back to business. But step number 1 is to define your dream. And we're going to talk more about each one of these steps. Step number 2 is to focus thought, or I normally say flow energy, but because we're focused on business here, I said focus thought. And step number 3 is Goya, or the law of Goya. And again, I'm going to dig into each one of those 3 steps. So let's talk a little bit about step number 1 first, defining your dream. And we all know this is not rocket science, but if you do not know where you want to go, you will never get there. So when I'm working with my coaching clients, I really want them to clearly define what it is they want to create. So I highly recommend to you that you clearly define what it is you want to create for the next quarter. So I have what I've created for myself, and I use it. You can see I've written all over it, my own handwriting there. It's what I call my 3x3x3 Power Strategic Plan. And you may have heard me talk about this on some of my own lives, but it's super simple, and I have found it to be really incredibly effective. So here's what I do. The first 3 is 3 months. So we're talking about planning out in chunks of 3 months. So April 1st, starting a new quarter. We're only 4 days in, so let's get started on what you want to create for this quarter in your business. So step number 1 is 3 months. So what I have on my Power Strategic Planner is the date, April 1st through June 30th. And then step number 2 is 3 things I want to focus on in my business this quarter. 3 and only 3 things. If you have more than 3 things, then you can put them down later on in case you accomplish the first 3 and get those all done, but only 3 things. Because here's the thing, as human beings, there's only so much we can focus on. And when we write a list of 29 things that we want to get going on, it's way too much for our brains to focus on. And last week, I talked about our brain a little bit and how it works. I'm going to refer to that a little bit more here. But your brain can't focus on 29 million things at one time. So make it simple, 3 things and 3 things only, period. No more. If you have more things you want to create, fine, that's perfect. Excuse me, you can put it down in step number 4, but for step number 2, 3 things, the top 3 things only. So I'll share with you what my 3 things are for this quarter. I'm going to be launching 2 new programs. That's number 1. Number 2 is I'm going to create a new upsell funnel for a program I have. And number 3 is I need to rewrite and re-record a webinar I have. So those are 3 things. So for you, it just depends upon where you're at in your business and whether you're working on your affiliate marketing business or your network marketing business. But one thing might be that you want to recruit 1 new team member in this quarter. You might want to recruit 2 or 3 or 4. Now, here's the thing. If you have only in the last year recruited 2 people, I would, and this is where I disagree with some of the gurus in the world, if you will, do not say you're going to recruit 10 people into your network marketing business if you only recruited 2 in the last year, because that is so far out there, your subconscious mind does not believe it. So give me some 2s here if this is making sense to you, if this is resonating with you, if this is helpful. Okay? Hey, Krista. Hey, Tina. Hey, Connie, Fran, Angie, or Aggie, sorry. So give me some 2s if this is making sense to you, if it's helpful to you, and if you're finding this is something that's practical. So 3 things only. Maybe you want to write down something that you want to create for your own business. Great, thanks for the 2s, Marilyn, Hannah, Dawn, Amy, fantastic. And then the 3rd thing in my 3-step process is, how am I going to feel when I complete each one of those 3 things that I wrote down in step number 2? So what I wrote for number 1, when I launch my 2 new programs, I'm going to feel really excited because I love creating new programs. So launching these 2 programs, I'm going to feel really excited. When I get my new funnel, my upsell funnel completed, I'm going to feel fantastic. It's like, yay! And number 3, when I get my webinar rewritten and re-recorded, I'm going to feel light, clean, clear, like, oh, at last that thing is off my plate. So keep it super simple. And step number 3, how are you going to feel when you accomplish the 3 things that you wrote down? Okay, so that's my 3x3x3 strategic planner. As you can see, I've got it all written out here. So write out. That's huge, huge, writing out what you're doing. So the next thing I do, and is I have a monthly stats tracker, monthly targets and stats tracker. And again, I've got it all written out here. I've got my numbers written out. So some of the things that I recommend you keep track of is if you're in the network marketing business, whether you're using LinkedIn or Facebook or some other social media platform, or whether you're doing a lot of belly-to-belly, whatever kind of one-on-one meetings, whatever. Keep track of maybe the starting number of connections you have if you're using LinkedIn, because as you guys probably know, I'm focused on LinkedIn. So I write down the starting number of connections I have at the beginning of the month, my target number of connections for the end of the month, and then I have a line for what my ending connections really were, and then the line underneath that is the variance. So I know if I hit it, went over the number, or missed it and was underneath it. Then the next thing you might have down is the target number of leads that you want to bring in, new leads this month. So target number of new leads, and then you have a line for at the end of the month, the actual number of new leads you brought in, and then again, the variance. Did you miss it? You know, did you surpass it? Were you under it? Whatever. So, and then sales, you know, sales for your affiliate marketing business, what's your target number of sales, what's your dollar amount target for sales, for your commissions, and again, you know, your target, and then a line for your actual for the end of the month, and the variance. You might have the same thing for sales in your network marketing company. What's your target number of sales, the actual, and then the variance? And again, here's the thing. Let's say you have never made more than $500 worth of sales in your network marketing company. Don't put down a target of $10,000 of sales for this month unless you have a really, really, really good plan of how you're going to get there. Because again, it doesn't matter how many mantras you say, how many times you say, oh, I'm going to make $10,000 in sales, I'm going to make $10,000 in sales. You can meditate till the cows come home. You can, you know, do some kind of fancy yoga, which by the way, I meditate and I love yoga. But if your subconscious mind doesn't believe it, it is not going to happen. Okay? So give me some threes again, if this is making sense to you and if some of these tips are helpful to you. Ray, what was before leads on your tracking? It was contacts, the number of contacts you have, or if you're doing Facebook, it might be the number of people you've got on your fan page. So contacts is just the wording in LinkedIn. So again, create sometime, this is my monthly targets and stats tracking report. You can see I actually have these numbers written out, 2 pages. I have my own stats that I keep. And so write this stuff out, because this takes us in to the next part. Okay, so we've got lots of threes here. Michelle, Noella, Connie, Lori, great, great, great. Okay, Chuck, 3, Curtis, 3, excellent, Tina. Okay, so step number 2 is to focus thought. Now, what I say to my coaching clients is this process works, but only 100% of the time. That's all. Just 100% of the time. And I'm sorry that I cannot guarantee more than 100% of the time. But the reason why this works, and only 100% of the time, is because it's based on physics. It's based on absolute laws, just like the law of gravity. So I'm going to get a little woo-woo on you, but hang in there with me. So last week I was talking about the brain. And if you caught me last week, you know that I talked about that our brain, every thought we think, sends an electromagnetic frequency. And that electromagnetic frequency, scientists have actually been able to measure the electromagnetic frequencies that are emitted by our brains up to 9 meters out. Now that doesn't mean that the electromagnetic frequencies of our brains don't go further than that, but with the technology and the machinery we have today, then they've been able to measure an individual, one person's frequencies of their brain out 9 meters. Hey, Brandy, great to see you here. So I have this snazzy little thing. It's called an energy stick. And if I hold one end of it, nothing happens. If I hold the other end of it, you can see the lights flash and it beeps. Now, let's say that Eric and Dawn and Lori and Brandy and I were all here. And we were in a circle and we were holding hands. If I was holding Brandy's hand and Brandy was holding Lori's hand and Lori was holding Eric's hand and Eric was holding Dawn's hand, but Dawn was not holding on to the end of this, nothing would happen. The minute we're all holding hands and Dawn holds on to the other end of this, it would start beeping and flashing. Because what this is showing you is that there is literally electricity flowing out of me through this and then back into the other side of me. So I'm literally closing an electrical circuit. And if we had a circle of 20 people, I could demonstrate this to you, and you would see that there'd literally be electricity flowing out of me into Brandy, out of Brandy, into Lori, out of Lori, into Eric, out of Eric, into Dawn. And then back in through this. And this is just a simple little toy that you can get at Toys R Us. It's $9.99, and it's a magnet and 2 batteries. But it shows us that we are literally sending out and receiving electromagnetic frequencies. So We are literally like walking cell phones. And so think about this. If I dial Brandy's cell phone number, Brandy's phone is going to ring because my cell phone is literally sending out, when I dial her number, that number is the frequency Brandy's phone is set to. When my phone, when I dial Brandy's number, it sends the frequency that Brandy's phone is set to, which is her phone number, and the two phones connect. So quantum physicists have proven that like frequencies cohere, they come together, and dislike frequencies dissipate, they move apart. So if I dial Brandy's cell phone number, Eric's phone is not going to ring. If I dial Eric's number, Dawn's phone is not going to ring, because those are two different frequencies. Their phone numbers are literally different frequencies, and dislike frequencies dissipate, they go apart. Like frequencies cohere, they come together. Dislike frequencies go apart. And it's the same thing with your televisions. When you set your tuner to CNN, you're not going to see what's going on NBC or ABC. You're going to see what's going on CNN. So we are literally like walking telephones. We're sending out frequencies and we're receiving frequencies. So what you focus on expands in your life, because the frequencies that you're sending out are the equivalent of the people, circumstances, and events you're going to get back into your life. So what you really want to focus on is what you want to create in your business. So I want to know how many of you are going to be at NES, at the No Excuses Summit in June this year. So if you're going to be at the No Excuses Summit, put NES in the comments. NES in the comments. And for those of you who don't know what the No Excuses Summit is, if you're new to the Daily Dose of Awesome and you're not familiar with Elite Marketing Pro, you can hop on over to elitemarketingpro.com. It is a workshop for network marketers from all different companies. It's an amazing, amazing experience. So you can hop on over to elitemarketingpro.com when this is finished, not right now, but when this is finished, and go to their events page and find out all about it. So if you're going to be at NES, here's the thing, I hope you're putting some NESs in there, because if you're going to be at NES, for some reason or other my comments aren't scrolling, if you're going to be at NES, I want you to do 3 things. Number 1, find me. Number 2, give me a hug, because if you remember the Daily Dose of Awesome I did back around Valentine's Day, my love language is physical touch, so I'm a hugger. And number 3, say to me, energy stick, because I'm going to bring my energy stick with me to NES so you can actually see how this works. It's really pretty cool when you see it in person and you experience like a group of people holding hands. I've done it with as many as 25 people holding hands, and you can see that the electricity goes in and out on all of us. So that's a little bit about focusing thought. Okay, NES now, I can see my comments. NES, yes, Tracy's going to be there. Laura, you're not sure. Cecilia, yes, excellent. Hey, Mary, great to see you here. Richard, NES. Michelle, NES. Marilyn, NES, yes. Angeline, NES. Chuck, NES, woo. Matthew, hello. Tom, NES. Curtis, yes, yes, yes. Brandy, I know you're going to be there, girlfriend. Angie, or Aggie, sorry, Aggie, I keep saying your name wrong. Okay, so I want to show you my energy stick. So track me down at NES, give me a hug, and just say energy stick, and I'll have it with me, I promise. Okay, so let's talk about number 3. Number 3 is the law of Goya. And I'm assuming that you guys have not heard of the law of Goya before. So I'm going to tell you what the law of Goya is. Are you ready? The law of Goya is get off your ass. You actually have to get into action. So here's the thing. You need to do all 3 of these steps. You need to start by defining your dream and have a really clear vision of what it is you want to create. And I highly recommend starting with just chunking it out in 3 months at a time. So what do you want to create this month? 3 things and only 3 things. And then you want to drill down a little bit more on those target things that I was talking about, you know, the more smaller, minute, granular things for a month at a time, but have a really clear vision. Define your dream. What is your dream for your business? Define your dream. 2 is focused thought on it. So what I do every day is I think to myself, okay, for this number 1 thing I'm working on, launching my 2 new products, what is the next logical step? What is the next thing I have to do? What do I have to do? What's the next logical step? What's the next logical step? And I just focus on getting that next logical step done. And then number 3 is you actually have to get into action. So those are the 3 steps. And trust me, this works, but only 100% of the time, again, because it's based on physics. We are senders and receivers of electromagnetic frequencies, and to the extent that you are focusing thought, laser focused thought, and send that frequency out into the universe, getting a little woo-woo on you, but to the extent you send that frequency out into the universe from a quantum physics point of view, it must come back to you in the form of people, circumstances, and events in your life. Your frequencies that you send out will always match the results you get back. So if you're sending out the frequency of, oh, I just don't know if I'm ever going to be able to make it in this business, what you're going to get back are people, circumstances, events that match that frequency. You'll get back people, circumstances, and events that prove to you that, oh, well, I'm just not sure I'm never going to make it in this industry. However, if you're laser focused, sending out a frequency of, okay, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm working on, this is what I'm creating, this is what I'm creating, I know I'm going to get this created by the end of this 3 months, then you will get back people, circumstances, and events that match that frequency. So I hope you guys found this really helpful. Yes, Eric, energy stick, woohoo. Tracy, thank you, thank you, thank you. Lori, you knew Goya, good Lori. Donna, great to see you here. Dawn, Michelle. So if you are new to the Elite Marketing Pro Daily Dose of Awesome, make sure you hop on over to elitemarketingpro.com, go to the events page, and find out about NES. I hope to see all you guys there. And if you got a link from someone else, make sure you follow the link of the person who shared this video with you. Thanks so much, guys. Yes, Goya, Goya, Goya. I want to see you at NES. I want hugs at NES. And I want to show you the energy stick at NES. We'll see you guys soon. Have an amazing, amazing day.